Thanks everybody for being here. I've been working at JAMA Psychiatry for a little over 5 years now, and we receive a variety of different manuscripts, and obviously different manuscripts types have different requirements and different potential checklists. We work obviously with all the established checklists, and I do think this is an important initiative. But in terms of the feasibility and implementability, I think we have some ways to go. So I've started to experiment a little bit with can large language models be useful in this regard. So I have two slides. I just wanted to kind of outline sort of the ideas of how we might use AI in a broader sense and large language models in a more specific way to aid the process of making reporting more transparent, making studies more repeatable. So there's a couple of ways you can think about this. One way is to help authors to actually present information in a way that is more complete. So, one possibility would be to integrate into the submission process, and maybe even in the pre-submission inquiry, an AI supported tool at the journal site that can scan the manuscript and then identify what is the most appropriate checklist actually to use, and then directly provide feedback to the authors about what are the elements that are there, what are the elements that are missing, and maybe even have assessments on discrepancies or inconsistencies. What that would do, I think, as was pointed out at the very beginning, that checklists are very important because they help us to jog our working memory to think of all the different things that we need to report. But they're also tedious. And so the tedium can be helped by these tools in the sense that you can generate an outline even of a manuscript that has specific elements with the kinds of pieces that you want to write for your article. It could also be a way of providing examples of compliant reports, and finally could actually suggest improvement to the authors. So this would all be a process that would be a service to the author to before even or while in the process of being in submission. I don't know about other editors here on the call today, but I find that editorial work can be sort of a bottomless pit. And particularly if you are checking the manuscripts for details, if you're trying to respond to the reviewers and look at the reviewers in terms of what they've addressed and what they've not addressed. So there's a lot of detailed information that eventually can be automated and can be made more efficient, and by that process can make the ultimate product, which is the publication, more transparent, more consistent. I have another slide, so if you can turn the second slide. Yeah. So the other thing that I think I think these are all developments that will be happening. I know that there is some concern about the proprietary nature of the information. But as large language models and other AI systems become more available as pre-trained and more proprietary to journals, I think that there will be fewer concerns that maybe there will be information sharing that is not appropriate. But you can see how AI systems can be used in an initial review of the manuscript to produce a report, similar to what we now do with iAuthenticate, where the report would contain how much is the manuscript consistent with the appropriate checklist for the type of study that is being presented here. And then could also provide flagging areas of non-compliance or insufficient detail. And this could be, so for example, we get, and I'm sure other journals do too, get very interesting manuscripts that you might want to move forward in the review process. But sometimes the way that the information is being presented or the type of information that's being presented is incomplete. So even though you like the general idea of the manuscript and what it is actually reporting, you may be concerned that it's not reporting all that should be reported. And therefore, you could have with an AI assistant a pre-review process before you even send it out to reviewers. And then lastly, I think that AI systems can be very useful for doing consistency checks across various sections of the manuscript, and determine whether the method section really is completely consistent with the result section. And again, I've experimented with some of these features. What I find very encouraging is that you can take a number of different types of publication or manuscripts, whether it's neuroimaging manuscripts or whether it's epi papers or whether it is experimental RCTs. And the feedback that you're getting in terms of these reporting characteristics are quite detailed and quite useful in the editorial process. One of the issues that I find is that, again, coming back to the editorial work, is that this could vastly improve our editorial experience. And I do think ultimately has the potential to make reports more complete and more transparent. Thank you, Hamad, and thank you everybody for giving me the time.